Good evening, I'm Giuseppe Basile, I'm the INSN trader. You can find at the website www.fibstalker.com. I also post regularly on Twitter using the @fibstalker nickname. Good evening, today is Thursday, March 27, 2014, and it's 10 p.m. time in Toronto, and in this video I'm going to review for you the first four markets I follow. This is a daily update, and I post this daily update on my website. The four markets I'm going to review are the euro dollar versus the euro versus the dollar, the euro dollar, the S&P500 E-mini, the futures, the dollar index futures, and the gold mini futures. So let's start from the euro dollar, which is the chart that you see on the screen. This is a daily chart, and those who follow me know that I've been looking at this sequence of measure moves starting from lows to highs, and then again after first target was hit, again lows to highs, which brought us into the second measure move here in this sequence, and excuse me, price moved right into that 138.22 and then retraced and eventually continued higher, and that's why I continued tracing measure move extension long at this point. And you remember that we traded this entry 138.42 with a stop below 138.25, and we got to the first target. I also suggested the next measure move in the sequence. I always follow the trend until it ends. We don't know when the trend is going to end. And as you can see here, this level has been initially been respected. As you can see here, after we hit this high, the 138.44 was never pierced on the downside, and price started moving higher. Eventually, though, reality set in the euro. You will remember that back at the beginning of the year, I was looking for a correction in the euro. Eventually, we got a failure in the sequence of measure move, in this move lower, and price started moving higher. As soon as we got a failure of this sequence of measure move higher, though, we started moving lower again. And on Sunday last week, I gave you this entry, very good entry, excuse me, setup here, with price that with a resistance area that started at 138.58 with a stop above 138.84-85, and that level was never touched, and price just started moving lower into what is the first target, 136-137 area here. That would be the first target. Now, of course, in the market there are always two group of participants. I just show you the shorts, and the long are positioned to try to pick up this market right around that 137.20. So it's we could make the case that the market tests at that level. So we're going to see whether the sequence of measure move lower will fail here. That would be an indication that maybe we are going to get a potential retracement here. This is not yet decided, and actually this should not worry you, because your stop now should be moved lower above this 138.20 level here. So we're going to see whether this level 137.20 is going to act as a resistance, a support, sorry, or not. If not, we'll just continue into the first target, and there is the potential then to break this 136.63-62 level. This would be a very important development, because this would mean for the dollar, the euro dollar, a retest at least of these levels, and I believe at that point we could move lower as well. Now let's go on the 15 minutes. The 240 minutes it's very similar to the 4-hour chart, as you can see. The 4-hour chart is similar to the daily, as you can see here. There is this level of resistance and this level of support. Let's go into look at the 15 minutes to see what we can infer from this chart. So what I'm going to study is the sequence that we saw in the last 3 days, and we had highs to lows here. Entry with a target. First target, market came to retest this level again, and price was then brought into first target, as you can see here. Actually, price continued even lower, but price came to actually retest a traditional sequence. So I'm going to use this one. This is going to be my level of the level of the next measure move lower, and eventually price got into the first target here, 137.24. the low was 137.27, so less than 4 pips, and I will consider this hit. So to me, the next level of resistance is going to come from highs to lows here, and as you can see here, this level has traded already. So we're going to see whether at the next test, if we get another test of this level, whether this level is going to hold or not. If it's going to hold, we're going to see lower price. If price moves above 137.61 here, we are probably going to see again a potential retracement, but this should really not worry you if you are into this swing short. Otherwise, I mean, you can take your profits now, and of course risking to lose a bigger part of this move. Moving to the S&P 500, you will remember that what I told you was that after hitting this target here, we have a target from a busted weekly setup, and if you want to understand what I mean with that, just subscribe my newsletter, and I usually send in the weekend I send a newsletter to my subscriber. That's free. It takes only a few seconds to do that, and I respect your privacy, and actually I hate the spam as much as you do, so don't be worried about signing up for the newsletter. Now, as you know, I'm looking for this market to retest at least 1803. The reason for that is we got a target here, profit taking. So the next measured move for this market is this market wants to continue higher, is going to be 1803. So that's where I'm anticipating this market moving. And when and if we get there, we'll need to evaluate what happens at this around this level, 1803. Moving to the dollar index, not really a lot to add here. You will remember that I traced this 79.80 level here, and there was a trace from lows to highs, and I did trace this Fibonacci retracement after we tested this level of resistance, the 80.50, which is the all the way back from highs to lows. So the fact that we had this bounce 70 at the 80 level here, it's an indication of strength. So we could see a continuation higher now into this first target, would be very close to this failure level. If that happens, that's a confirmation of longs for the dollar, and we could see much higher price in the dollar, which correspond to much lower price for the euro dollar. And so that's what's happening at the moment in this market. So I'll keep looking at this development. Moving finally to gold. Let's see what is happening here, and before I get there, I just want to take some time to explain again what happened in this market. At some point we got a violation of this sequence of measure move lower, and I'll show you only the last trace from these highs to lows. And at some point this 61.8%, 1235 was pierced on the upside. There was a confirmation of the end of this move lower, and so I started looking at the measure moves higher, and we can see here that from lows to highs, we have participation at this first level, 1214, which brought price into first target here, this 1262. You will remember, if you follow me, you will remember that at the time I was of course already following this sequence of measure move, and I traced the next measure move from lows to highs, and I showed you how this 1244, the actual level, could be different if you review the videos, just because this is a continuous contract for the futures, and this is June 2014 contract now, and before I was looking at the previous contract. So but anyway, the relation between lows and highs and price is the same, just the level is slightly changed because of the contract. And as we can see, this measure move brought price into 1291 and 1316 first and second target respectively. And at that point I was waiting and looking for a retracement from to the setup from highs to highs, but this never came. And once I saw price kept moving higher, then I knew I had to find another anchor. Sometimes that this happens, and this is what I call anchor jumping. And it's just a name to identify behavior of the market, in which the market is becoming more and more aggressive and tends to move more quickly. And once that anchor was identified, though it could be reused, as you can see here, we got support 1319. And price attempted to hit first target, didn't do it the first time, and then eventually did it, and also did hit the second target as well. The next measure move actually was initially I mean, there was in the smaller time frame a reaction there, but then eventually, as you can see, the next measure move failed. So what I said is that, well, this whole sequence of measure move higher is completed now, and we are going to see a retracement. And program trading rules are cause-effect rules. So this market, especially large market with very high volume, are governed by program trading. And so there are some rules. If you learn the rules and respect the rules, you know that you can actually tell with very high probability where this market is going to correct. And that's what I try to attempt in my method. And you can review all the videos. I have more than 500 videos I published in the last 2 years, and there's a lot of material. You can go and review all the calls that I made on the market. Now, this market started moving in extension, as we can see here, and there was a reaction to this level 1341 as anticipated. This was an extension already, and price went into the first target, and we could get a reaction here higher, but price just continued. That was one of the criteria, one of the possibilities. So at the moment, as we hit the second target here, we have a very clear level of failure, and it is important that we're going to see how market behaves now. And we have a very important new level of resistance. So if we see this market moving higher, but then it start correcting again around 1305, then we are going to trade it on the short side. As you can see, this level of support, the 1286, which we knew was there since this bar, so since mid of March here, so a few days ago, almost 2 weeks ago. And so we'll need to see whether this level holds, or actually the 1309.50 level fails on the upside. If that happens, then this is a confirmation of this level. However, this level has not been touched just yet, so I will need to see what happens, whether this level is touched or we get a continuation. And if we get lower lows, I will need to adjust that this trace as well. But this is the fib stalking technique that I'm using here, that you can use to confirm support on important support and resistance in all the markets. I hope this video is useful. Thank you very much for staying around. I hope your week was good as mine was, and I wish you a very good weekend Friday. Take it easy tomorrow, and thank you for sticking around. Bye bye now.